Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today we're going to start the journey that is Hello Kitty, and this is what I'm going to be showing you how to make today. The colours you're going to need are pink, white, yellow and black. I have not counted the bands. I tend not to, because when I come up with these designs, I'm usually sitting in front of the TV watching a show and just creating, you know, and so I don't sit there and count. And once it's actually made, my daughter would actually kill me if I was to take her all apart. As soon as she's done, she sort of claims her as hers. So it would not be worth my life to actually take her apart and count. That being said, if one of you do, I would be more than happy to put your name and your band count in the description of the tutorial. So let's get started. We're going to start obviously with the biggest part, which is her head, which is a big round ball. Let's do that. It's a hook only design. You will need some stitch markers. I'm using the little ones I got from Michael's, but you can use a paper clip, an S clip, a C clip, whatever you have lying around. I am going to use my loom just to do the magic ring, because I think that's easier to show you guys what I'm doing. You're going to need stuffing. She is stuffed, and you're going to need some stuffing, whether that be the stuffing, the polyfiber that I use, which you can get from Michael's, or whether you're using, some people have used tissues, cotton wool, pieces of scraps of yarn, old bands. I think you'd need an awful lot of old bands to do that. But whatever you have to do the stuffing is completely up to you. And I think I mentioned we need yellow as well for her nose. So let's get started. Let's do our magic ring, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so that you can see exactly what I'm doing, because I know this bit is a little bit tricky for some people. We're going to do a magic ring with six little bands in it. So I'm going to put those ready. I've got 6 little bands there and 1 band to go around my loom. I'm going to take my first band, which is white obviously, and I'm going to wrap it around this peg once and twice. Now the peg is facing away from me, the open part of the peg is facing away from me. I'm going to take my first white band and I'm going to place my hook down the center here, and I'm going to put my band on the end, and I'm going to draw that through so that I have it on my hook like this. Now I have just uploaded a video on how to do magic rings. If you have problems with this, I really recommend you go and have a look at it. Each one is in a different colour, so you can see which stitch is which. It really, you know, should help. When you've got your band like this, you're going to take the first loop up and over so that you have a little slip knot formed, and you're going to budge that around and keep that loop on your hook. You're going to push your hook back down again and go for the second band. Put it on the end of your hook. Oops. And pull it through, and again leave that little slip knot that you first made alone. Grab this side of the band, pull it up and over, and now you have 2 little slip knots on your hook. You're going to join them together by taking the first one up and over the second, and then we'll push that around again and we'll keep going. Let's do our third one. Take the right hand loop up and over, and then move the band across and budge everything around. We'll do our 4th band. And our 5th band. And our lucky last, our 6th band. And we're going to take that off our loom and just gently ease the stitches around. Okay, I don't need that loom again for a little while. Now I'm going to zoom just out a little bit so that I don't keep going out of focus for you. Not out of focus, out of camera range I should say. Make sure I'm focused. Now what we're going to do is an increase in each of these stitches. You can see I've got 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6 is on my hook here. Go through that first stitch. Okay, we're doing increases, which means we do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So we're going to take our first band and we're just going to be doing a spiral. We're not changing colour, it's just going to be white, so we'll just do a spiral. We don't need to do a slip stitch. Pull that through the first stitch. You're going to then take one over the other and join, and this is where I'm going to put my stitch marker. This is my first stitch, so I'm going to put my stitch marker right there. Next I'm going to go through that first stitch again, and I'm going to take another single band and do my second single crochet and move one over the other and join. I'm going to move to the second stitch here, push my hook through, my first single crochet, and then go back through for a second. So this is 2 single crochets in each stitch, and it's called an increase. And as you can see, it makes the magic ring that we made twice the size. Back through for our second. And as you can see, we're back at the beginning. Alright, and this is our first stitch. So we're going to go through that first stitch and do a single crochet, put it through, single crochet, and move your stitch marker so that it is on that new stitch. Okay, now I'm wondering whether I should change the background colour of my work mat so that you can see what I'm doing clearer. So bear with me while I just do that. This might help you see what I'm doing. How's that? I think that makes it a little easier, doesn't it? Alright, what we're going to do now, our next stitch is going to be a single crochet followed by an increase. Well, we've already just done a single crochet, so now we're going to do, that was our single crochet, so now we're going to do an increase. So that's 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and then we'll do our single crochet, and then we'll do our increase in the next stitch. See how there's a pattern as you go around, and this is increasing the size but not quite so dramatically. A single crochet and an increase. Single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, and an increase, and then we're back at the beginning and we will do a single crochet. Move your stitch marker to that new spot. And I'm really scared that I'm going to go out of your viewing area. Alright, so we're back at the beginning. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets followed by an increase. So we've already done 1 single crochet. Let's do a second. Oops, let's keep our stitch marker on. There we go. So let's do a second single crochet in the next stitch. And now we'll do an increase. 1 and back through. Single crochet. Single crochet. And an increase. Single crochet, single crochet, and an increase. And we'll just keep doing that till we get to our stitch marker. And back to the beginning, we'll do a single crochet and move our stitch marker. Alright, so now we're going to do 3 single crochets and follow that by an increase. So we had 1 there, 2, 3, and an increase. Then count of 3. And an increase. And here's our single crochet at the end. And move your stitch marker. I'm going to zoom out a bit, otherwise we're going to run out of room. Now we're going to do 4 single crochets and an increase. That was number 1, one, 2, 3, 4, and this is my increase here. One, 2, 3, 4, and an increase. One, 2, 3, 4, increase, and we will finish on our single crochet. Move your stitch marker onto that new stitch. Alright, so now we're going to do 8 rounds of single crochet only, no increasing. So what I've done is I've put 8 little bands here, and each time I start a round I'll take 1 from here. Now obviously I've started with my single crochet here, so I'm going to take my first one from that little pile, and then I know that I have 7 left, and I'm just going to do single crochet all the way around. Okay, now as I said, I have 8 of these, 8 rounds to do of this. It's going to take some time, so I will pause my video and we will catch up together when we've both done 8 rounds. Otherwise this video is going to be about 100 hours long. Alright, so I will catch you in a minute. So I have finished my 8 rounds of single crochet, and now what I'm going to do for the next round is 2 single crochets and a decrease. Now before I do that, we really want to have a look and see where we can put our ears. Now this is the center that we worked from, and we're going to have an ear here and an ear here. We're also going to have some eyes and a nose, but I want to make sure that I have the length of the head correct before I add the eyes and the nose. Let's take our hook out. We have our little clip here holding onto our stitch, so we won't lose that, and let's concentrate on some ears. So grab your loom and 6 stitches in it. So a single band, wrap once and twice, and then 6 bands. So let's see, we've got 5, here's 6. We're going to do our little magic ring. So here's 1, back down, 2, 3, 4, 5, the last one, 6. I'm going to take this one off the loom. I'm just going to spread these around like this. This is going to be our first ear. We're going to take our hook and place it through the first stitch, and we're going to do a single crochet, and we're going to use another stitch marker. Now if you don't have another stitch marker, again, C clip, S clip, paper clip, it all will work. Poke your hook back through that first stitch. We're doing our increase. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets in the second stitch. 1, 2, and in the third, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. Come in here, go through the last one, and we're going to do a slip stitch. So through the first loop, grab the other loop, and a slip stitch, like so. Now we need to do another one. These are going to be sort of bent up like this, and we're going to stitch them on top of the head so that they look like little ears. Alright, and when we stitch them, we're going to sort of, it's a little tricky, we'll marry them up with anchors. What I'm going to do is put one anchor here, and I'm going, if you can see what I'm doing, I'm going through 2 stitches like this, one anchor here, and we'll do 4 of them. I'm going to go through this stitch here and this stitch here, and then with this tie-off band I'm going to try and capture the other side as well here. So that we are using this as an anchor band. I can see, I don't like how that looks. That's better. And so with these anchor bands, what I'm actually going to do is I'll work out how far down the head I want this to be. Now this is at the back where that pink is, and I've come down, this is the center, 1, 2 and about 3. So 1, 2, 3. So about here is where I would put my first one, and I would grab my first anchor band and drag it through, and then you're going to find the next spot that makes sense and drag the second anchor band through, and basically you'll have all of these bands on the back side here. Okay, and we will then tie them in. But let's grab these bands and pull them so that they are secure, and you want them to line up at the right angle. So this next one I'm going to do probably there. As with all of these sorts of things, it's trial and error. Have a go, see if it looks good. If it doesn't, take it out and do it again, so that they line up nicely. So once you've anchored them, turn it inside out, and you've got the 4 anchors here. If you look, you can see through to where the anchor band is, and you're just going to undo it and have both of those loops on your hook. Go to the next one and see if you can just peer through the stitch and find the next anchor band to just gently undo like this, and you're going to grab the next 2 bands for that next anchor band, and you're going to take the first 2 up and over those second ones. Let's do the third one. Let's find the stitch. Where is it? And you can turn it around, it's up there somewhere. And it's easier if I go through, I can see it's easier if I go through this particular, there we go. I'm going to put my stitch marker on here just so I don't lose it, on the 2 that I've already linked I'm talking about. I'm going to move this stitch across one, because I can have better access between the bands to just gently undo it. There's the 2 bands. Put my hook back in, grab these 2 and up and over. So I'm sort of stitching them in from the inside. Let's have a look at this last one here. There's the tie off part here. So I'm gently going to ease that open, put the 2 loops on, up and over. Now I'm going to put my stitch marker back on just so that you can have a look at how it looks on the other side. It's quite tight on the other side, which is good, but you have this little bit that's sort of sticking up, and we really don't want that. We don't want it to sort of stick up like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab another white band and just go through the 2 loops of that bit that's sticking up like this. I'm going to tie a slip knot, and I'm going to drag that down in the same spot that the last anchor band was in, actually. And again, this is up to you on how you want to make it pretty. Alright, I just think this will look better, so I'm going to do this one, undo that one on this side now too. Put my hook through where my stitch marker was, remove my stitch marker, grab those last 2 anchor bands, one through the other. Now all I'm going to do is find a little band on the inside. These 2 just look fine, and I will tie a slip knot after I've pulled it through those 2 and that. I'm just going to tie a little slip knot here to keep it all secure. So if you have a look, there's my little ear. Okay, and if you feel that this one is too sticky uppy, That's a technical term, by the way. You can again put a little slip knot, do a little tie off there and pull it through to the other side and tie that one off as well. So let's do the other side. Single band, wrap it once and twice. We're going to have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take it off your loom, spread them around, go through that first loop, the first stitch, and we do a single crochet. Come back here. You can put your stitch marker on, your S clip, C clip. That's our single crochet number 1. Here's number 2. Go to the second stitch, crochet number 1 and crochet number 2. Third stitch, crochet number 1, crochet number 2, fourth stitch, crochet number 1, crochet number 2, fifth, 1, 2, and our last one, 1 and 2, and we will do a slip knot here, slip stitch going in through that one and through that one, and do a slip knot. If you remember, we're going to pinch this in half like this, and we're going to marry up the two sides. So for me, I can go through here and here, and it doesn't matter how many of these anchors you make really. If you want 4, that's fine, 5, whatever. 1, 2, just don't do them too tightly because you want to be able to undo them. 3, 'Think that went through the right. I want 2 loops either side. 1, 2, 1, 2. Pull through and slip knot. Okay, let's position this the other side where we want it to be. Again, that's at the back. You're coming down 1, 2, sort of about 3-ish. About there, I would say. Grab your hook. So 3. I'm thinking about here. Let's see how we do. And you're going to drag them down into the inside first. Here's my second one. have a look if that looks about right. Probably about right, so turn it over. Make sure that they're all pulled through. Now let's see if we can find where to undo them. There's our first one here. Our second one is here. So I'm going to push my hook through that and just move this over and above. I think I lost one, but that's okay. I'll add that in a minute. Let's see if we can do our third one without pulling it too tightly. We might need to reposition where that one's coming in from. Looks like it's a bit far away. Let's try here. There we go, there it is. Push my hook through that. Let's find the fourth. It'll probably be about here. It would be easier if it wasn't all white, but never mind. And let's see if we can drag this fifth one down. There we go. One over the other. I'm going to put my clip on and just make sure that everything looks a-okay. I think it does. Maybe again we can do one here. On the very end, if I can get my hook through it. I might just try and go through the same spot as before. I'm going to grab both of those like that. Put my hook back through. One over the other. Find a couple of little bands that I can tie off the back with. Take a single band, draw it through there, and slip knot. So they are the little ears that I have done. Now the other thing that we want to do is have a little flower on one of them for her, and obviously once you've actually stuffed it as well, it's going to look a little bit more rounded and more Hello Kitty-ish. So for the flower, again we're going to use our loom, and this time a single pink band, wrap it once and twice. I'm going to do 6 again, just of pink this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Take off your loom, spread these out so that they're even, go through your first stitch, and we're going to do a slip stitch and tie off, and make sure that's quite tight. Okay, now what we're going to do is go to the opposite side, and we're going to do a slip stitch there as well. if I possibly can. There we go. Okay, so I have my 2 little slip stitches. Now, in order to make this look like a flower, we pull bits out, but let's secure it on her little ear first. So what I'm going to do, beside her ear, and that's the back, so I should probably do the other ear and from the front. Here we go. That's worth noting. Do it through the front. I'm going to grab one slip stitch and pull it through. I'm going to grab my hook and push it through another spot and drag that pink band through. Now, what you can do with these 2 pink bands, if you put your hook through where one of them comes out, if you have a look on the inside, okay, so I've got them here like that, I'm going to grab the opposite band from it, okay, and I'm going to pull it back up here. I'm going to splay it open and pop it over the flower, and then I'm going to do the same the other side. Okay, so this time I'm going to pop my hook this way, grab the other loop, pull it through, splay it open, and try and splay it open, and pop that one over this side of the flower. Alright, so that's now sort of secured in place. Now the thing to make it look like a flower is, if you have a look, you've got these little ones here. You're going for the little one just beside the ones where you have these 2, then there's one that goes across, and you're just going to pull it, so you're tightening other parts of the magic ring, but you're pulling these ones out so that they look like little petals. Try and make them a bit even, so just sort of and it does help if they look even like that. Okay, so that's how we're going to do, oops, her little flower. Again, position it where you want on her ear. You can see this one's going to give me trouble. One is being bigger than the other, and Izzy will not have that. Alright, so that's that. Okay, let's do our round of 2 single crochets and then a decrease, and we'll do that twice so that we can see where we're going to position our eyes and our nose and also our whiskers. So single crochet. Oh, and I should mention, we had a single crochet on here, if you remember, so that was our second single crochet that we did. Let's do a decrease. You go through the next stitch and through the stitch next to it, so you have 2 stitches on your hook at the same time, and you're joining them together like so. Try not to stretch the band too much, otherwise you will get these gaping holes. So then we do single crochet, single crochet, and a decrease. Single crochet, single crochet, and a decrease. And a decrease. Oops. Single crochet, single crochet, and a decrease, single crochet, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, single crochet, oops, try that again, decrease, single crochet, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, single crochet. Now this will be the stitch that I'll do a single crochet in to start my next round, even though I finished on a single crochet on that last one there. So I've done another single crochet and I've put my stitch marker. So can you see that I've started to come in now? Alright, so let's do another single crochet. This is my second, and a decrease. Single crochet, single crochet, decrease, oops, try that again. Crochet, single crochet, and I am going to finish on a single crochet here, even though it's supposed to be a decrease. I don't want to do a decrease so close to the end like that. So I have done this. Okay, so this, I'm going to take my hook out so you can have a look. This is her little face. So let's work on the facial features now. We're going to do the nose, and we're going to come down the center here and try and line it up with where you started your magic ring. So you're wanting it to sort of go about here, and I'm going to use a stitch marker just to indicate where I want it to be. And then we're going to have eyes, and we're doing eyes in black. I'm just going to use bands to work out where I really want them to be, and I probably want them to be in line with the end of the ear here. So I'm going to come down, and they probably will be about, I would say, here. So I'm going to put a black band here, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side, just so I know where I want this to happen. Probably like that. Let's see if that sort of lines up. Not sure if this one might want to come through on here rather than where it is. Let's see if that looks any better. More than likely. So this is going to be where I will be doing the facial features. Now, for the eyes are very easy. I have one here already. You're going to take 2 black bands. The first one you're going to take on your hook, wrap once, twice, 3 times and 4 times, and then do the same with the second. Once, twice, 3 times and 4 times. Alright, and you're going to slide that, both of those, onto a single black band. And I try not to make it so that it's too tangly and too snarly. Try and just lift it and move over. And then pretty it up a little bit. Now, you don't want them on top of each other. You want them side by side so that they make a longish looking eye. So working from where we're at here, and that this is where we're going to, this is, you know, sort of where we want our eye to be positioned. I'm going to place my thumb here on the band and go through the back of the eye area and pull a band through, and then approximate where I want the other side and pull the band through. So I have both ends of my black band here. Catch them together, take a single white, draw through and tie in a slip knot, and that is where I'm going to have my eye. I'm going to do the same the other side. I've already made mine, so go ahead and make yours, 2 bands, and again we'll try and get them in the same spot. Try and marry it up. So I'm going here. I'm going to throw my hook around first. Grab one side and then work out where I want the other one. Maybe here. We'll have a look and see how that looks. One and 2. The nice thing is you can always just move them. You just undo the little white band that's a slip knot at the back. So nope, I want it down a bit, left a bit, right a bit. So there we go, that's my eyes. Okay, the nose. And we still have to do whiskers yet, so don't worry. The nose, we're going to take a yellow band, wrap it once, twice, 3 times. Another yellow band, once, twice, 3 times. Okay, we're going to slide onto a single yellow band like this. Pretty them up a little bit like that. Don't reclaim, okay? Take another, wrap once, twice, 3 times. Now you can reclaim like this, and we're going to slide all of these on to a single yellow band like that. Now what we have to do before we can actually finish this is in between these 2 that we did up the top, the 2 bands that we wrapped around the top here, we want to put another yellow band. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to poke my hook through, grab another yellow band through it and do a slip knot like that, and that is up the very top. Okay, like that. Now when we position this and we have it marked where we want it to be, alright, we're going to put our yellow one through first. The taller yellow band at the top is going to go through the hole at the top first, which is here. I'm going to take this stitch marker out and I'm going to pop that on the back so I don't lose that yellow one. Okay, then I'm going to flip this down, okay, like that, and I'm going to take one side, drag through, keeping it on my hook. I'm going to go to the other side and grab the other yellow band and drag through. Now I want this to be sort of like a little button nose, okay, so I'm going to then, I've got the 2 loops here, I'm going to take the 3rd loop off and I'm going to drag it through those 2. Hope you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to get another little white band and just tie these all in a slip knot, like so. Okay, so that's how I'm doing my little nose, and you can sort of squidge it out a bit however you want, but effectively that is the little nose that I'm doing for her. Whiskers, again, it's a good idea to sort of place where you think you want the whiskers. Usually with Hello Kitty, one is at least where her eye is, if I understand correctly, sort of about in the middle. Sort of like that, I would say. And what I'm going to do in how to do this, you can do them solid like this, and then take a single band, white, and just make them small little whiskers like this, or you can snip them and make them longer whiskers, but I think I'm just going to do small little whiskers like this, and just try and make sure that I have them the same on the other side as well. So I'm going to just do them like that. Again, you pretty them up. You, I'm sure, are the connoisseurs of Hello Kitty far more than I am. But do them how you see fit. Okay, so I'm going to do mine like that. Now you have the fun task of trying to marry it up on the other side in the same way. So I was in the middle and went out 1, middle, went out 1, maybe. The face is always fiddly. So there's 1, and now we came back a little tiny bit and down a tiny bit. Hey, come back here, you. So do the second one here. And don't worry about all the bands inside. That really is not going to matter, because they get hidden with the stuffing. Sorry, don't you love it when I'm talking to you and I just suddenly stop? I don't know if that one's right. Might need to come down a bit. Maybe here. Let's make sure I get the other bands out of the way. As I said, correct them to how you see fit. Okay? So that's going to work for me, I think. Probably this one is a little, I could probably have done that one to here maybe. But it's a whisker, right? Who cares? Alright, we need to do one more decrease, a round of decrease. So hook back onto your little loop, and we're going to go 2 stitches on your hook at the same time and pull the thing right through. Pull it through. I'm going to do another decrease, and make sure when you're doing your decreases, make sure you're in the next stitch, don't sort of double up and do a double whammy on the same one. To those asking, yes, this is my own design. Thanking you. And I'm going to finish on a decrease here. I'm going to take this stitch marker out for a second so I can do my decrease, and I will put my stitch marker back on that spot like that. So if we're going to turn this just into a Hello Kitty head, all we're going to do now is stuff her. Now this is just going to be if we're doing the head. If you actually are going to convert this into the figure, the little amigurumi figure, you need to stop here because we're going to be doing some increases here. If this is just going to be a head, then we do the following. We grab our stuffing and just use whatever you happen to have. I use the polyfill stuffing. It's 100% polyfill, and you can get it from the craft shops, stores. I've seen other people use cotton wool, tissues, all sorts of things. But anyway, let's get some. You do not want to overstuff. You want to make sure that as you stuff things, you're not going to make it so full that the stitches appear to be stretching at their seams and you can see the stuffing oozing through. That's not great. Okay, so you want to make sure that you don't overstuff. That could be a problem. So little by little, fill your ball, head, figure. Well, it's not really a figure, is it? It's just a head. Now, I was trying to keep my stitch marker out the way. So this is going to be how my face will look. And now all I'm going to do is close this up by doing decreases. Alright, so I'm going to decrease this all the way. Move my stuff. Now I will be reversing this step to continue doing the figure. Okay, so I'm going to keep my stitch marker on, and all I'm going to be doing is decreases. So decrease like this. Sorry. Okay, and I'm going to keep my stitch marker here so I know where to reverse up to. Decrease. Try not to drop your band like I just did. Do that one again. I find it always a little difficult when things are stuffed to do my stitching. Another decrease here. One more here. And you're just going to go around doing these decreases until you're satisfied that it's closed enough. Probably do one more here. As I said, I'm leaving my stitch marker in because I have to reverse these steps to continue with my figure. And then do a close, which will be a slip knot like so. Squidge it together. That's a technical term, by the way. And there you have your little Hello Kitty, and you would actually hide this tie-off band. I'm sorry, let me finish this for you. Up the inside of your creation. And so there you have a little Hello Kitty face, if that's what you're going to make.